I have been prepping for about 3 years now, and I have acquired quite a few things. I've been getting ready for those natural disasters, economic disasters, political disasters. We stocked up on a lot of the short-term foods that you might use within 2-3 month period. Stocked up on your freezer foods, things you can store for a couple of years and don't have to worry about it. We've stocked up on home defense, family defense, self-defense. We got a lot of things that a lot of people just don't think about. A lot of times, a lot of people think it's pretty extreme. It certainly don't hurt to be ready for anything. You never know when your local water system's going to get contaminated. Even if you're on well water, something could spill and contaminate the groundwater. And having that long-term food for when you have to hunker down for a long time really helps. We have solar generators, we have backup batteries, we have solar panels, and we have power inverters. Plenty of toilet paper to combat that toilet paper shortage. Packing food away in Mylar is definitely something we did a lot of. Having go bags ready to go just in case you do have to go, it's also a definite thing you should be doing. Alternative ways to filter water is also a good thing. Stacking up on sriracha, most definitely.
So while some of us are actually planning on how to survive Monday mornings, we actually have folks out here who are planning for the fall of civilization. Yeah. Like it's around the corner. These people are actually called the Doomsday preppers. And I think people who do like prepping actually get those who laugh at them like and be like, oh my god, like here they go. Like these preppers and their crazy shenanigans. Some people actually find it as, oh, they're just living in fears, or if you even talk about it like you're trying to make them live in fear. Like this whole situation is not about trying to make anybody live in fear. It's for you to have like some awareness that, okay, things might be going good, but who knows? Just be prepared just in case something actually happens bad, but you're not praying or hoping that something bad happens. Even countries actually going through war and facing wars, they never really sat down and was like, oh yeah, we want war. No, it just happened one day. Things just break out, or situations like with floods, hurricanes, like, so there are situations like that sometimes that there are different reasons why some people prep. Some are not prepping for the end of civilization. Some are just doing it for flood, hurricanes. Some are doing it for a situation like recession, inflation. So it depends on what you actually want to plan for. So we're going to be checking out these videos as people actually want to share some tips and tricks or things that they're doing to prepare for emergencies like this. This might be helpful tips for people who actually want to start, prepping and don't really know much about it. Share some knowledge and actually just hear what people are doing. But before we get right into this video and check it out, please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
Economists are coming out now and they are stating that what is happening with the whole entire firing of the Data and Labor Statistics Commissioner is going to impact all of us. These economists who work in the financial market, they use this data. Without this data being correct, they will not be able to quantify which stock is going to do well or which stock is going to do bad. Typically, they don't really get involved in politics too much. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does this impact me? Everyone who has a 401k, yeah, you got financial advisors who are working for companies who know where to move your money around to. So when they don't have correct data, this directly impacts you. Now they're all sitting around waiting to see who he's going to appoint and whether or not the new data is going to be real or is it going to be fluffed up to make the Trump administration look good. Now, keep in mind, we're dealing with that with the reality that the jobs market is the worst it's been since 2008. And we all know that in 2008, we hit a soft recession. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been preparing your family, you better start, because it's looking like we are headed for some really, really bad times quickly.
Well, I hear we're going into another recession or a depression, and you're wanting to prep for that. So let me break down 5 things that you do need on your shelf. Let's do this. Tip number 1, you're going to want flour. Don't mind my hair. I'm a mom. Flour, you're going to start making your own food, okay? Whether it's bread, we're going to step away from those easy, convenient, and you're going to be cooking more at home. I want to save your wallet a lot of money. 2, sugar. You're going to want sugar. Just trust me on this. 3, you're going to want to go and buy some chocolate chips in bulk because you're going to get that urge or that temptation. You're going to want to go get a snack or something somewhere. You're cooking that stuff at home now, okay? 4, you're going to want to go get canned meats. Back there is tuna. Tuna is super cheap. It is delicious. It's a good protein. You're going to want your canned chickens. You're going to want some cheaper cuts of meats, my friends. You're going to want that bone in. You're going to want your pork chops. You're going to want your chicken thighs with the bone in. You're going to take that time to remove the bone. You're going to learn how to marinate and you're going to tenderize, okay? I'm going to save you money. Number 5, you're going to buy on sales and you're going to buy 1 for now, 2 for later. We're going through another once in a lifetime event, so I want you guys to succeed. And tip number 6, if you made it this far, coffee. Okay, you're not going out for coffee anymore. You're going to make your own special coffee at home. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to be able to apply that towards something else, okay? Go get your coffee. By the way, it is imported, so it is going to get really expensive. So that's when you want to prep a lot of money.
Everyone says that they want to start prepping, but most people never do because they think it means bunkers and camouflage and bug out land, but it doesn't. Here's what it actually looks like to begin prepping. You are not buying a $300 tactical bag. You're not building a bunker. You are going to grab any bag that you own, a gym bag, a school backpack, a diaper bag, whatever you have. You are going to add water, food, clothes for warm layers, and I'll put a few extra here on the screen. But if something happens, you will not have time to pack. You do not have 5 minutes. You do not even have 60 seconds. That bag is the difference between scrambling and surviving. Every person in your home should have one. It is by the door and ready to go. And this is not because you were paranoid, but because you love your people. If you've been putting this off because it felt overwhelming or too extreme, this is your sign to start. Not with a bunker, but with a bag. We help families do this every day. And even if you never work with us, just pack the bag. This is your sign.
4 things that will attract dangerous people after it all hits the fan. Share this with everyone. Being prepared is one thing. When it comes to survival, it's a whole different ballgame. First up, smoke. You might need a fire to cook or stay warm, but if you burn the wrong things, like green wood, plastics, or rubber, you're going to create billows of black or white smoke that can be seen for miles. That's an open invitation to people who are desperate. If you need a fire, make a Dakota fire hole or keep your fire very small and use dry wood to minimize smoke. Next up is smell. If you're cooking food, especially any kind of meat, that scent will travel for miles. And in a world where people are starving, that's like ringing the dinner bell. If you have to cook, do it low and slow and try to contain the smell, because once they catch a whiff, it's already too late. You're not even going to see them coming. Sound is another killer. You fire a gun, that's an announcement. Someone knows you're out there, knows you have supplies, and they might be willing to take them. Stay quiet, stay unnoticed, or be ready for company. And finally, we need to talk about light. When the grid goes down, the world's going to be darker than most of us have ever seen it. 1 candle, 1 flashlight, and you might as well be a lighthouse in a storm. If you need light, block the windows, cover reflections, and never let light escape outside. Survival is about more than what you do and the skill set you have. It's also about what you don't do. Don't be seen, don't be heard, don't be found. Stay dangerous and keep yourself ready. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more.
I don't think a lot of people understand what's about to happen to the American economy because people are still operating as if the money is coming. Ain't shit coming, y'all. Ain't shit coming. And people you always want to use the excuse of, well, the people I know not broke. They got it. Let me tell y'all something. The first group of people that cut out all that the unnecessary spending are rich people. So if you're still spending, I'm gonna like spending like crazy and not like all stuff that you like need or to live or whatever. I'm gonna assume that you're broke. Yeah, because you don't understand economics. You don't get it. You don't get it. I'm just gonna assume that you're broke because I don't understand. I really don't understand. People that are well off have already like started limiting their spending, being mindful of their vacations, their shopping, like literally everything. They have started to wean themselves in. I started doing that since last November. But since everybody got it out here, but the numbers ain't saying that everybody out here making 6 figures, right? So y'all lying. Y'all be lying. and y'all really ain't got it. But anyways, if you got some sense, please save your money. Please start being mindful of what you're spending your money on. You know, I'm not saying not to do stuff for yourself. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just be mindful. Instead of taking 5 trips this year, maybe take 2 or none, right? Instead of getting your hair done every month, maybe stretch it out to 2 or 3. Like, these are things. Start buying groceries in bulk so you can, you know, have stuff stretch out a little longer, because the prices are going up. And we haven't even really felt the real impacts of this inflation shit yet. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. To operate in delusion, I fucking wish.
While millionaires are flying up to space, everyone else is afraid of a possible recession. So these are all my money-saving tips as someone who's frugal to help you prepare. Comment some ways you like to save money to help each other out. Call your service providers like your internet or phone provider and see if they're willing to lower your bill. I did this last year and was able to lower my internet bill from $79 to $46, which will save me over $300 this year, so give it a try. Next, get creative in ways to save money. Never buy trash bags. I use paper bags that I get from friends and family. I cut up my sponges to make them last a lot longer, because why mess up a whole sponge when you could basically get 2 sponges for the price of 1? Something else that I do is I'll cut the end of my toothpaste, because even if you think it's empty, there's always a little bit left in there, so you don't want to throw it away. Or instead of buying curtains, I use the set of bed sheets that I got with my bedding. My next biggest tip, do not buy anything. You likely already have way more than what you need. You don't need anything else. If something has flaws, it's okay. This is what most people's homes look like, living a life of overconsumption. You don't need more. If you do need something, try to get it secondhand or even for free. A lot of the furniture in my apartment I've gotten for free. I keep everything unplugged to keep my electric bill low. When something's done, I unplug it. I only plug in the microwave when I need to use it. Even my internet, I'll unplug it when I go to bed or when I leave for work. Keep my fridge to the lowest temperature possible to still keep things cold, and I'm mindful of the lights that I use. This helps keep my electric bill very low. Cancel every subscription now. You don't need to see the next episode of a series. You need an emergency fund and to keep a roof over your head. There's plenty of free entertainment out there. At the grocery store, do not buy name brand things. That's stupid. There's no reason to pay $3 to $4 more just because of a brand. Also, don't buy pre-made or prepared foods. You're paying extra money for the convenience. That goes for things like pre-cut fruit. Just cut it yourself. It's way cheaper and typically fresher. Oh my god, the pineapple was so good. Which goes into my next tip, cook all of your food at home. Going out to eat is so expensive. And in times when things are expensive and money's tight, going out to eat is a want, not a need. By cooking all of my meals at home, I typically spend about $200 on groceries, which saves me a ton of money. My next tip in a struggling economy is try to find a way to earn more income through a side hustle. Last year, I started dumpster diving for bottles and cans. I know it's not for everyone, but I typically make about $40 to $60 a month from doing it, and to me, it feels like easy money. And in tough times, you gotta get creative on how to make more money. Be sure to utilize your local library. Libraries are awesome and have a ton of free things like internet and other resources. It's a great place to cool down when it's hot outside. Sometimes libraries give out free passes to museums and events, so be sure to check out your library. You can think of fun things to do for free, like going on a hike, having a picnic in the park with friends or your partner. Or for me, I play the violin, so I found a free community orchestra to play in, so it's a fun activity that doesn't break the bank. When it comes to gift giving, get creative. I have a re-gift bin under my bed, but also you can make something. Get creative with the things that you might already have laying around the house, rather than running to the store to buy something. You can still go out and have fun with friends, even in a recession. We know the recession music is top tier. Just do it responsibly. When I go out, typically I'll just get a water. I'll go to places that don't charge a cover. Like here, when I went out with friends, I got a side of pasta. It was the cheapest thing on the menu, and it actually was a big portion. I think it ended up costing like literally $7. And you can consider putting your emergency fund in a high yield savings account, so your money grows money with interest. We're gonna be okay, guys. We're all in this together. Thanks for watching.
With the economy actually standing on wobbly legs, some people are going to buy some gold bars, stacking up on that. Some are staking their cryptos in hopes of surviving the next crash. People are stocking up on beans like it's the new Bitcoin. With how expensive things are, I feel like it's not really a bad idea for many people to actually start learning how to grow their own food, because absolutely, like, this whole, the rates at which things are just not stable, like with the economy and everything, it's really a situation where you really have to start looking at what you can actually do in situations like this. Many people do not really have any idea on how to even grow their own food or some of the stuff that they could do. Some people, I know, like most people will be like, oh, we're broke. That's the reason why we can't do this. Starting to see a lot of influx of people who are actually going to, get like some dual citizenship, like just in case of anything. The truth is, we know rich people are actually over there building some underground bunkers. Some people are building a whole community on the ground, somewhere like in a whole different place. Matter of fact, they ain't gonna be in the country you think it's gonna be in. If anything should go bad, when you have a ton of money and you are like part of the elite, of course you have your whole life set up. Like you have some chefs and cooks on the ground somewhere. If things actually go bad, they will be fine. We're just gonna work with things that we can handle and afford. You can just set up some little amounts that you have. You don't have to actually stock up your whole house. Let's say you just want to save up a little few food. Maybe learn some little skills like growing your food, buying some seeds and saving them just in case. Like get some bug out bags.
You were never supposed to have a lawn in front of your house. Did you know that? Well, here's why they made you. Think about it. Before lawns, most front yards grew food, fruit trees, vegetables, herbs. But in the late 1800s, elites in Europe, wealthy elites in Europe, I'll say, made grass lawns a status symbol. It meant you had so much money, you didn't need your land to feed you. Now that's a flex, okay? So America copied this trend. Cities encouraged it. Developers, they built it into our neighborhood designs. And eventually, HOAs, local lawns started banning front yards altogether. So now lawns look clean, but they replaced something essential, right? Our daily connection to food. They made us more dependent on grocery stores, supply chains, and the very systems that profit from our hunger. Now, a nice patch of grass, it looks nice, right? It looks nice. But a patch of food keeps you alive. One builds status, the other builds freedom. And if lawns had never been pushed on us, our neighborhoods would be filled with edible gardens, fruit, nuts, seeds, native wildflowers, small community orchards. Every block would feed its people. What hunger? Every yard would be a little ecosystem, nourishing, abundant, and free. But instead we have this. So if you're ready to live, to build a new conscious world, follow 4 steps to reclaim the food and the freedom you lost.
A few things I'd have in my house in the event of a grid down situation, like a war, an EMP attack, or anything like that, in no particular order. I'd have rice and beans, dried goods, canned food. I'd have bottled water stocked up, water purification tablets, or a life straw. I'd have that. I'd have a bug out bag, and it'll be packed up and ready to go. I'd have a first aid kit. That's a waterproof first aid kit. This is a regular first aid kit. I'd have a first aid kit. I can't post this on TikTok, but potassium iodide pills. I'll have potassium iodide pills in case we were hit with a nuclear. You could just look it up, potassium iodide pills. I'd have a hand crank radio. I would have this right now, a hand crank radio. I have an emergency stove and the utensils, so like the cooking utensils. I'd have my pew-pew and lots of ammo. I'd have my pew-pew and lots of ammo. I'd have my gas mask and the respirator. I'd have this together. I'd have matches or lighter, waterproof matches. I'll have some way to start a fire.
Am I getting this right? You're prepping for Doomsday, but you can't even survive a week without DoorDash? Some people call it prepping. I call it shopping. No skills, no practice, no important gear that you need. Go ahead. Spend another $500 on prepping gear. But do you know how to cook off-grid? Do you know how to start a fire? Do you know how to grow your own food? Do you have a personal protection device? Do you know how to use it? Do you know how to preserve food? The list goes on. If you're looking for easy, practical tips, like always, make sure you like, share, and follow for great prepping advice.
How much water have you stocked up? Do you have some beans set aside that if There's no food nowhere. Is there some sterno heat around that you can make heat? That's what time it is. Come on. You ain't even thinking like that. I know. You think you'll always have a Wendy's to go to. You think there'll always be a Big Mac somewhere. That's right. No, brother and sister, all of that's going down the tube in a few days. These are days of tribulation coming up. And we're going to have to gird up our loins to get through it. And we're going to have to be family.
To the broke doomsday preppers, we are building a community. If you can cook, if you can clean, if you have psychedelics, if you can sharpshoot, if you are a chemist, if you know medicine, if you have access to antibiotic, if you have a bunker, let's come together and make it happen.
I'm going to say something to y'all that might scare you, but it needs to be said. No one believed Noah until the rain came. No one believed Noah until the rain came. No one believed Noah until the rain came. Do whatever you want with that information. But I said what I said.
So if you're one of those people that eat out every day, it is time to start packing your own lunch and stop eating out. We got to start saving some coins, guys. Times are getting ready to get rough. So even Aaron Parnas was talking about the ships coming into the ports in California and how there's less cargo. And for us to be expecting a shortage and price increases. So hopefully you guys are getting prepared. And if you're not getting prepared, that you're already prepared. So again, you need to be stocking up on the staple items, flour, sugar, grab you some beans, some rice. Those are definitely great items to have. And you can store those items for a really long time. Canned goods, canned vegetables, even frozen vegetables if you can. But again, stock up on what you can, okay? I know we're not supposed to be panic shopping, but get whatever it is that you can get at this point, right? If you can only afford a can or two, get you a can or two. But just try to be as prepared as possible. And I mentioned in some of my other videos, remember, the Dollar Tree is a great place to get some very inexpensive items. They have canned goods too. They have a lot of oils, cooking oils, flours, sugar, seasonings. They have a lot of that stuff too, okay? So you don't have to actually go out and pay an arm and leg for a lot of these items. Again, check out your local Dollar Tree. And also, check out the dollar stores and see what they have as well. So remember, we are getting ready to start feeling the effects of these tariffs. So get prepared, guys.
We are so soft. We have lived lives where we've had grocery stores, gas stations, banking, jobs, electricity, running water, toilets, everything that modern man has brought forth. We don't know how bad it can be when all of a sudden the grid goes down. No running water, no heat, no air conditioning, no markets open, no banking open, and no social media. What would you do? Would you run out the door screaming? Would you go into a corner and cry? Well, guys, I don't want to be an alarmist, but the chances of something like that happening in the next, say, 18 months is running about an 85 to 90% chance. This is why I have this channel, so that I can teach you self-reliance and prepping, so that you are not the multitude of people that don't have a pot to piss in. If you are on a low budget, I understand. Go get some baby wipes. Go get some containers to put bath water in. Fill up used water bottles. That's really inexpensive, if next to nothing. Go to the dollar store and see what you can get to supply yourself with candles and Crisco. Get tea lights. You can get 100 of those for a couple bucks. And for food, every week you go grocery shopping, get what you can. Especially the stuff that will stay on the shelf for years. Because you never know when you're going to need it, and you want it not to be in the refrigerator, freezer. Janet and I have a rule. What can we do to process food so it doesn't have to go into the refrigerator? I started canning by wanting to make sauerkraut. Well, sauerkraut has to go into the refrigerator. So I nixed that right in the bud. But it got me into canning, and I'm a prolific and proficient canner. If you wanted to get into canner but you don't have a lot of money, well, look on Facebook Marketplace for inexpensive water bath canning supplies. I'd start there. You can use that for things like any fruit, actually. For veggies, you have to have either water bath canning for hours and hours and hours, and if you have a glass top range, don't do that. It'll ruin it. I ruined ours. We can still use it, but it's forever scarred. And I bought a camp stove to use outside that uses propane for that. But I have 4 pressure canners, electric pressure canners that I use. And they're going quite often. And we're coming up to the canning season, and I'll be using those again. So there is always something that you can do for insurance to have the supplies you need later on. Get a sewing kit. Get Band-Aids. So, and yes, pray. Pray. Certainly pray. And then set up a plan for where to meet everybody in case of natural or unnatural disaster. We're going to have our home be where we bug out. We bug out in place. And so if I'm away, Janet knows to stay put, and I will come here. We have an emergency pack in the car. And we have some water in the car. And I need to put a pair of tennis shoes in the car in case I need to walk, because I usually use sandals. So that's about it for this morning. And yeah, I am rubbing it in. I really am. Why? Because I feel that I need to tell this to masses of people so that they are not saying, and when the shit hits the fan, they're not saying, well, no one told me what to do. I'm telling you what to do. Get prepared, okay? But make your preparation so that it lasts for a long time. Don't just buy up some pickles and put them in the refrigerator. The refrigerator is not going to be running. Neither is the freezer. Okay, I will scream at you later.
You know what is funny? Some people would never do this prepping, but their plan is just literally to just go and break into those people's house that are actually prepping and go and take away their stuff. So that's why it's kind of risky for you to be posting these videos and be like, oh, look at what I have. Because in a situation where things go bad, people become savages and they will do anything possible to get something. And for those people who actually feel like they should be saving up money, in a situation where people ain't got nothing, like let's say you're going through famine, different type of situation, nobody cares about your money. Nobody care about, it's about what you have. People will literally go back to trade and barter. You have to give them something that they need for them to give you something that you need. Nobody's gonna, what are they gonna do with your paper? Like, you give them paper for what? Because it's not gonna be a situation of, if things are really really bad, it's not gonna be that case. But here we have those who would not prep or do nothing, but are planning to actually go to people's house. Looking at some of the comments in this video, some are like, thank you for showing me this. At least I know where to go to when things go bad. I'm gonna go to your house straight. Because some don't really, like, they don't care about that, but they feel like they should break in. But also, it's something to keep in mind that if you're actually stocking up and putting like so many things, a pile of things, that's why I'm like, oh, I feel like seeds make more sense. And like, if you need to like, put it in your bug out bag in case you need to go somewhere else that would be safer, and start build and planting, growing your own food or something like that. It might work out better for you. And also knowing some edible plants, those are very good just in case you have to be on foot. Because if you buy and stock up your own house, we have like some people who actually come and thief and break, possibly they will break into your own place and try to get all those things, and some of them are really heavy. What if it's a situation where you just need to evacuate, like you need to get out of that situation, get out of where you actually saved up all those things, then you can't carry all these heavy things. How are you going to carry, like, maybe you bought like 30 packs of water bottles? Are you supposed to start carrying all those things? Or you bought like so many food, you can't be carrying all those things. You can literally, the only thing you can do that, if you're even fast enough, is carry a backpack, and it has to not even be too heavy, or else you won't survive it. Like, you don't have to actually go and be buying stuff like a crazy person. It could be just little stuff that might help you, or learning some skills to survive in a situation where all the things that you're having that's at your convenience right now, you actually no longer have it. If you're somebody who actually have the mindset that you want to live life, you want to be alive, you want to work and you want to do everything possible to stay alive, then these are skills that you need to learn just in case wherever you find yourself, so you'll be able to recoup and build again. And this is actually not living in fear, it's just doing what we can do. And if I had money, honestly, I would build an underground bunker somewhere in a place that, and have everything I'm gonna need down there and make it as good as the rich people are making it. But when most of us are actually broke, we don't have the money or finances to do that. Some of us, our plan is to run towards whatever danger it is and let them just take us out, because what are we fighting for? But anyways, whether that's your plan or you plan on actually staying alive and surviving, I hope everybody is able to achieve what they're actually planning towards. That's it for this video. You've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye.